May I interest you in some DPS Xilonen? I sure hope so, considering that's what this entire video is going to be about. So, this lady, they designed her in a kind of cool way, in my opinion. So, in case you're not familiar with my channel, I do DPSing support characters all the time, and this is kind of going to be the same thing. With the slight difference being that Xilonen has some inbuilt, slightly higher potential to be a DPS, more so than like other units. Well, we'll see how good it is. That's the question we're going to answer, is like, how good is DPS Xilonen? Notably, you can see she has some defense scaling multipliers on her normal attacks and her plunges. Her normal attacks specifically get the defense scaling when she gets in the Night Soul state after activating her skill. But a quick overview of her kit, just in case you were not familiar. Basically, the way that this passive works is if Xilonen is paired with 2 Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, or Electro teammates in any combination, she basically exits the Night Soul state and then activates her Res Shred buff. So she becomes an off-field buffer when there's 2 Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, or Electro teammates, right? But if Xilonen has fewer than 2, which is to say only 1 or 0 Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, or Electro teammates, then she gets a self-damage buff, essentially. And notably, her burst also does extra damage when you're doing her damage dealing mode. So essentially, based on your team configuration, she is either a buffer for your team or she can be a DPS. She is definitely not going to be a DPS on the tier of Arlecchino Navia or Grapple Dendro Navia. But I do really appreciate that they have like the option to do this, and it's like it should be a lot less cope than some things that I've done in the past. But we'll find out. My Xilonen is going to be C0, by the way, for this video. C1, for supportive utility, it just increases interruption resistance by a little bit. It's not a ton of interruption resistance. But extending Night Soul state actually means that she could like get more normal attacks or plunges out. Because if we press her E here, right? Oh, I need the UI to come back. You can see she just drains Night Soul states constantly at a set rate. And that's your limit for how many attacks you can do. So at C0, I'm going to press her skill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's without doing any like animation cancels, right? Now, interestingly, she cannot do charge attacks. So, you know, you can't do like 2 normal attacks that are faster and then charge attack to cancel. It's also worth noting that she can leap up into the air, but they do not let you plunge. So unfortunately, her plunge multipliers, you don't get to see those depth scaling plunges unless we're doing Cloud Retainer, which that will be one of the teams we're going to try. And my expectation is this is probably going to be one of the better ones. Particularly because depth scaling plunges, just at level 6 here, right, you can see it's got quite a bit higher multiplier, especially if we hit both hits, we get the 92% and the 232%. 300% plunge multiplier plus Cloud Retainer buff. It's probably the best way to see the biggest numbers from her, for dang sure. And she still does have a fancy like plunge animation, which is kind of cool, right? You blam that. Normally with sword units like Xilonen, when you're doing plunge DPSing, you can do a dash cancel to be able to do that, right? And if I did it better there, I wouldn't be moving forward, right? If you do dash cancels really well, you can get extra plunges out in a smaller amount of time, right? With Xilonen, we don't want to do plunge cancels because watch her Night Soul when I do a dash cancel. It'll become more obvious if I just dash. You can see she sprints forward, right? She moves faster and she consumes a extra Night Soul, which means you get less damage output if you're doing DPSing, if you're doing dash cancels. So that means we have to do normal attack cancels when we're doing plunge things. It's fine. From my limited testing thus far, we can get 6 plunges out actually during her Night Soul duration. Now there's multiple builds I'm going to do for her DPS playstyle, but because of the fact she goes in Night Soul state, we're going to be on-fielding her. We can use the Obsidian Codex set, of course. You know, 2 piece gives a damage bonus, and then 4 piece gives a whole bunch of crit rate. This piece looks really sad, but the stat value is higher than you might think. It's actually pretty decent. My feather situation is not ideal, but we're just going to use this one. I got a pretty dang good def percent timepiece, a pretty good circlet. And I'm going to use this goblet. The reason being is because I do have Xilonen's weapon, by the way, and this would be a good weapon for DPSing her. It would still be a good compelling weapon option, and I suspect it would actually be better as a DPS weapon than Light of Foliar. But because I don't have the resources to level it up right now, we're just going to use this because it's a big generic crit stat stick. Yep. The passive no does not really do anything for us. other than it gives some crit rate. If you wanted a DPS Xilonen, by the way, I did some calcs with like a Cloud Retainer team. With R5 of the craftable weapon, right, it also gives a similar amount of defense like as this does. It's going to be a little bit worse than this, of course. But the craftable can get you to have good like normal attack plunge damage as well. The point being, she has an accessible free-to-play weapon. I'm not going to go spend billets. I'm not going to spend resources leveling a weapon when I have other options. We're going to have about 80% crit rate, 245 crit damage, hopefully enough ER to burst consistently. I'll show you the other build with the third team later. It's definitely going to be the least conventional way of DPSing Xilonen, but it also might be one of the better ways. My talents are at 6, 10, 8. When you DPS Xilonen, she is only giving the res shred to herself, but it's still good. We'll still get 36% res shred. I could level this up more, but my Mora situation is not looking great, and I have other characters I need to work on leveling. But of course, if you really enjoy DPS Xilonen, you probably should level her normals to level 8. It's just not going to crazily change the experience of using her as a DPS. So the first team I think I want to test quick is going to be a mono geo-ish team, I think. Now I'm going to choose an unconventional choice of using Yunjin here. The reason I want to do that is because of her flat damage buff for normal attacks. Should allow us to, one, attack a little bit faster because I do have C6 Yunjin, but then her flat damage buff for normal attacks will let me see bigger, meaningfully larger numbers than Xilonen herself. It's not necessarily going to be the optimal damage version of this team, I would think. Right now, my Chiori is only level 70 with, not level talents. This is one of the reasons I need my money for the other things. But I'm going to use Yunjin because I think it'll give satisfying normal attack numbers on Xilonen. Now, I could easily throw in Kachina here as a compelling option because she can hold the Scroll of Cinder City set. So we could do triple Geo and then have another element user in the team, like, I don't know, Fischl or something, right? Just for some extra off-field damage. And for what it's worth, I have Kachina on a EM focus build so that her shields from her crystallizes generate a sizable enough shield to hopefully help stay alive. By the way, I waited to make a DPS Kachina video until Xilonen's release because I wanted more options for buffing geo damage dealers. So subscribe if you want to see a DPS Xilonen video. Sorry, that's the video you're watching, a DPS Kachina video. Duh. I'm so confident about this team that we're gonna go fight the Capybara. We do you, do this, do this, do that, do that. Hey, we're hitting similar damage numbers? That's okay. That just makes me think C6 Goro is just underwhelming as heck. I'm sorry. Alright, well, okay, rotations are weird with this. Oh. I forgot the thing did that, and I guess this team doesn't have enough poise breaking to interrupt the dude. Well, okay, the damage we dealt wasn't great. We'll get our revenge against the Capybara with a different team. Do that. Do this. Do this. Ow. We're fine. We didn't have energy this time. It's fine. Oh, we have Phlogiston, so technically I'd be out right about now. I didn't have my burst up. That's fine. Yeah, that's interesting. The timing when her Night Soul runs out for doing her normal attack playstyle, right, isn't lining up for like when Kachina's skill is coming back. It has a long 20-second cooldown, to be fair. I also think Fischl's not super ideal, maybe because of her. You know what? I like Yai. We're gonna try Yai instead. The idea here is, since, we had to wait like a couple seconds for Kachina's skill to come off cooldown anyways, that the couple extra seconds that Yai requires for field time should be fine. Oh, oops, I did that wrong, so I'm still gonna not have my stuff up. Oh well. It's fine. I don't think did I get the, no, I must not have gotten the good parts. Alright, so well, it's fine. Here's what it is, and we're out of Night Soul, and do that. It is not dysfunctional. for what that's worth. I don't have Fav on my Yunjin, that's not ideal. But that's just energy problems that can be fixed. Like this is functional, is what I would absolutely say. And we can do something like that. I don't know if I will actually get the full. No, I got definitely not the full damage. That's fine. Yeah, I definitely need to get Fav on my Yunjin here for this, but like, it does work. And kill him. Oh, not quite. There we go. It did work. Now, is this going to be Abyss clearing? I think I could potentially use this team to clear Abyss. It's not, this is a tanky boss, right? So we took like 3 rotations to kill it. I don't know. And we're at world level 9, right? So it might actually be able to clear. Let's do a test. Oh yeah, if you got C6 Candace and you have Arlecchino, you can consider doing this vape team. This is my preferred version of an Arlecchino vape team though, because we can get AoE vapes just like that. I didn't press E first, so that didn't have the crit buff, but it's still crit anyways. Alright, and then that. Alright, I think we might have, I don't know, we still had to wait a couple seconds with her there, but that. Okay, honestly, this is like so much more compelling than I thought it was going to be, quite frankly, right? I don't know, I'm actually quite happy with this. We don't have enough bursts, we don't burst consistently with the Yai here, but that's, oh well, no, don't, okay, whatever, I'm scuffing myself, but that's fine. I don't know, like Yai's damage plus Xilonen's damage. Like, that's obviously where all the damage is coming from, and then it's just some buffing going on. And it's working. It's a little bit like, I think the rotations are still a little bit weird and awkward and long, to say the least, but it actually does more damage output than I thought. Right? Like, that was about a minute long clear, I think. Alright, this is the kinky chamber, which is annoying. Also, this dude has like a shield countering thing, which is also annoying. Oh well. We'll see what happens. We just kill him fast enough that we don't have to worry about it. Okay, I don't want to use the Iverse here. I want to save it for 50. Well, maybe I should have used the Iverse here. That. I get a fab proc. Here we go. Do that. Bam. Alright, and you're already down. It's fine. I do like the attack speed buff, by the way, for, I think you're going to do that. I do really like the attack. We're fine. I do like the attack speed buff from Gen C6. It's quite nice. Are you teleported? I just noticed there, Xilonen can actually move across the field quite quickly. Interesting. Good job getting damage value out of that, me. One thing you can do, by the way, extra defensive utility in this team, you can actually parry with Yunjin. Like, you can swap into her and use her hold skill, or I think you just have to tap her skill if you time it right, but hey, we're cleared. Now, this team's a little bit fragile, I will say that. I did that wrong again, but I don't know, I really actually like this team a heck of a lot more than I thought I would. And is it like an insanely strong team? No, right? But also, I just wasted a bunch of uptime there. And, oh well. It's not like an insanely strong team or anything. And I think that's fine, personally. I wasn't exactly expecting it to. Again, I think the point of this kind of thing is that I'm just glad like they put a cool option. They made a really strong supportive unit, right? That has fun utility in being able to be used in different ways, right? Like, that wasn't terrible. Oh, freaking. Oops. Do this. I forgot to press E. It helps sometimes. Oh, we're not going to get the burst. Oh, we are. Let's go. Bam. Wee. Hey, it is very functional. A little bit fragile. But Conchita's shields honestly did quite a bit of work there. Like, I could definitely tank some hits. So yeah, I actually like this team a lot more than I thought I would. I might play around with this team more and level for normal attacks just for this team. But of course, we have to show what is almost assuredly a meaningfully higher DPS version of Xilonen, right? Is Cloud Retainer, Farina. Wait, oops, that was not Cloud Retainer. Alright, so we should see... Oh, what am I doing? Start with Kajina. We should see meaningfully higher damage numbers from Cloud Retainer, and then Farina obviously is a good off-field damage dealer as well. Yeah, I'm doing not punches. Bam. 93k, yep. Yep. Oh, and we ran out of Night Saw, I think, because I did dashes by accident. That's my bad. Well, we can just restart here. Oh boy. The calcs I did, by the way, I believe... Alright, let's do plunge, and yep, I mean... Okay, this thing's Hydro Immune, so, Farina's not doing anything here. We're going to test the full extent of what Xilonen could do. I'll still use Farina so we can get our stuff going, but Let's see if I can make sure I get my full 6 plunges out. I'm actually using the burst might prevent that, but 1, 2... Gotta do normal attack cancels. Alright, I only got 4 there. No, 5? No, I got 5. Okay, I definitely screwed up a little bit, but... I could have... Don't think it was dysfunctional. Alright. A 1, a 2, a 3. Yep. It's a Cloud Retainer team. It's like it works. It's the magic of the Cloud Retainer for Arena combo, ultimately. It's a little bit different than the other combos, though, because it's not just like using Bennett and doing vape plunges or anything. You're actually doing Geo plunges, and she has this fancy animation, so I like it, to be clear. Lion, Cloud Retainer. There we go, okay. Yeah, let's... What? Oh, yeah, I forgot he teleports into shield. Okay. Did not get the full damage output going, but it's fine. Obviously, this is a little bit higher damage output and much more comfortable of a team, to say the least. The best part about this team, right, is it... Oh, I didn't use Cloud Retainer. That's not the best part. The best part about this team is obviously that... interesting with her short skill cooldown, I didn't, like, kind of lose that much by doing that. That, I suppose, is... Yeah, Freena's doing so much of the damage in this team, obviously. And I don't even have my Freena on, like, her full powered-up build. She's a little bit powered down. Not crazily. Okay, one interesting thing, like, I keep dashing to, like, move around, and I just end up running out of my Night Soul. But, yeah, I don't know. The reason I think this feels more consistent is because of Farina and Farina being buffed by Kachina, right? And we're just gonna try to normal attack, I think, into death. Or maybe not. There we go. Alrighty. Yeah, this is certainly a plunge team, right? Or a Cloud Retainer team, ultimately. Where are you? Hello. And let's see, we'll get 1, 2, and super 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? You can get 7 now. Is that 7? I think that was 7. And use burst? It's more than I thought, I'll be honest. I thought you would only be able to get 6. That, I guess, like, it deals a plenty compelling amount of damage, right? It's just unfortunate that you kind of rely on the Cloud Retainer for Arena combo. I did calcs, by the way, with the R5, the craftable, and with the build I had in this team, I would be able to get about 100k plunges, the same amount of damage as I got. Again, craftable, good. Alright, you're gonna teleport backwards. Perfect. Do you. This. Alright. 1. I get the wrong thing. And bam. 115k. And kill it with the burst. For style. Yeah. It's realistically by far her best team. It's the best way to take advantage of her damage multipliers. You just do some normal attack cancels and you can get 7 plunges out. Let's go a test actually against the Capybara, though. We need to get her revenge. And then we'll do one more team that is much more unconventional. It's not, I will say it's not really a DPS Xilonen team is the third one, but it is more, it's a way to on-field Xilonen. And I don't have energy, of course, classic. And now I do, yay. Alright, and 1, 2, 3. What am I doing? Wait, I'm supposed to be doing plunges. Blam. And now that we're doing plunges, we can get our revenge on the Capybara, right? And we also cheat and do plunges longer because we have Matland things going on, but we won't. We'll end our things. Alright, and do this. Okay, well, because I started with no energy, I'm just forever without energy. Oh well. The normal attack cancels better. Alright, and do a burst. That. Oh boy, you're doing butt wiggles. That scares me. Uh-oh. 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 I'm not gonna be able to stop it. Oh boy. Did I stop it? I don't know if I stopped it. I can't tell. That's the problem with this thing. I can't tell if I stopped the butt wiggles or not. Oh, I did. Okay, I definitely did. Good. Sweet. Man, Cloud Retainer C1, the main thing it helps is just when you're, you don't have enough energy. Just helps you mitigate your energy problems. in combat. Otherwise, it's just an awesome exploration constellation. But oh, not quite enough. Right, please. Oh, we good. Oh, okay. That was a little weird. Well, it did. Yep. The plunge works. You know how how you feel about that is there are some people that don't like plunge collaborator teams because it's just like is the same for all things, but I don't know, it's at least a little bit unique in that there's abyss cycles, there's bosses that reward doing geo units. Yeah, these two units are just a good combo for making anyone a plunge DPS to some degree or another, but it's definitely her best DPS team, I think. But if you want an alternative, we're still going to use Farina here. I'm sorry. You'll see why in a second. We need Nahida. You might be like, why? And then we need Bennett. And you might still be like, why? Well, basically, C6 Bennett gives a Pyro Infusion. We can do Pyro Infuse Xilonen, triggering Burgeons, right? Right, we're going to put an EM build on her, a mostly EM build. Farina is the one that's going to be doing the most of the team's damage by triggering really big vaporizes. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch her off of this artifact set and onto my Kachina's artifacts that have EM main stat here. And then I'm going to give her Freedom Sworn for even more EM. But yeah, 800 EM means she should trigger some pretty meaningful Burgeon damage, but she'll generate some big crystallized shields, and notably, she will be able to trigger the 4-piece scroll set to buff Farina's damage even more, right? And because there's, two Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, or Electro teammates in the form of Bennett and Farina together, we're also going to get the Red Shred for Farina and Bennett. So technically this is support Xilonen, but it's support Xilonen on field to trigger Burgeons, while big off-field damage is happening, right? And, the Burgeons she's triggering are going to be damage from her stats, right? We are building her for damage, just in a really, really goofy way. Oh yes, for Farina's healing situation, we only have 126 ER, by the way, so we're not going to burst every rotation with Xilonen, but we have Bennett burst as healing, and I also have Prototype Amber on Nahida that's healing, so I think the healing situation, even with a C0 Farina, would be fine. By the way, this is my Farina's build. Alright, so what we're going to do, we start with Farina. And we do Xilonen buff, right? And then we do this. And then we do with this. And then we do with this. And then we start schmacking. That was a weird camera, right? You trigger Burgeons. And bam, right? We just got, 54,000 because it's C2 Nahida, which is buffing the Burgeon damage by like 20% functionally, because it's 20% chance to crit. I don't think I actually got the passive going there. That was my bad. But point. C2 Nahida doesn't actually do that much here. It's not that significant of a buff. All right, blam. Oh, I died. Well, but I don't know. It did damage. You saw it. You see, it works. Is this Mimi? Yes, but it still is another way to on-field her. We're gonna go to prove it that it works. I'm gonna go take it to the first half of Abyss. That. Do that. All. Oh, whoop. Bam, bam, and we start on field. Oh, they're already dead. Okay, well, I mean that's gonna happen. We didn't do anything with Burgeons there because they all just died from Farina. Like I said, this is kind of configured around Farina. Also, I did that wrong. No, I'm not gonna get the bonus probably, but oh no, I did get a bonus. Nice. Also, we have enough ER. That's interesting. I definitely didn't expect that, to be honest. Do that. Do that. Do this. Alright, nice. See, we're getting some Burgeons. Is it crazy? No. But also I should really make sure this dude dies before he gets another shield. Alright, here we go. Bam. I actually have no idea how consistently we're swirling Hydro in multiple rotations. Or swirling. Crystallizing Hydro. For the Hydro damage bonus. But, yeah. Alright, this is... I could make Farina do so much more damage than this. I do wish to emphasize that. I wanted to keep her a little bit lower power. But, yep. I don't know. Like, is this meme? Yes, but can you get Farina to do more damage than you're seeing here? Oh yeah, for sure. I have not tried to maximize Karina's damage here. I think it's amusing how functional this kind of thing is. This one's why I like doing Bennett shenanigans in general. Maybe do some charge attacks to make sure I get the burning going. I think there's been slight issues with this. Can you just stop doing the spin to win? I think there's slight issues with keeping up burning, but that's more actually a skill problem, realistically, than it is a functioning problem. I'm just not paying enough attention. Yeah, so anyways, it works. I just thought that would be a funny inclusion for the video. I do quite enjoy silly shenanigans like that. I was quite happy with her on 4-piece Codex. So I was very surprised actually how decent the Yunjin Yai team felt, right? That was definitely weaker than the Cloud Retainer team, of course. You have options to succeed still. How easy it's going to be for you to DPS someone like Xilonen is going to be dependent probably on how strong your options are for the other Abyss and a given Abyss cycle, right? Because this is like an easier Abyss cycle, and that means it's easier to clear the content with DPS Xilonen. Conclusion is, it's cool that Hoyo like gave us, you know, a kit that has this kind of weird modal utility, and I don't know, I think it's really fun, right? If you just want to do something fun with her, this is an option that can be successful. It just might take a bit more investment to get there. But I'm not someone who feels like I have to play teams that are clearing Abyss chambers as fast as possible, right? Ultimately, the game doesn't have any structures that require you to clear in anything under 3 minutes across both teams. So as long as I have the ability to do enough damage to clear the content, I'm generally speaking pretty happy. And I like being able to do things like this. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. Maybe there was something I have available on my account that I didn't think of. Hope you enjoyed.